Hi, I'm Canadian artist Roxanne Jervis. I was in Ireland and I was doing a lot of paintings when I got home of the Avoca Dales and the mountains. And I found that because it was Ireland, the skies weren't always pristine blue. In fact, it was somewhat cloudy. And the paintings ended up being a little bit flat, too much green and too much kind of gray skies. And I was trying to. So in this Avoca Dales, the clouds are the most important area here with the space. So I needed to make a bit stronger foreground in order to make it work for me. So we have the closest foreground very strong, and then the hills down below a wee bit are lighter. The very dark valley, because it is cloudy, you're getting shadows on the hills, and you're getting that light to dark to light to dark to light contrast. This painting I'm showing you here is the Avoca Dales, and you can see that the sky is very gray in tone and lots of cloud movement. And the hills, because they're in the distance, they're very monochromatic in their color. I quite like the painting as it is because it does create a mood. There was another painting that I did that I was noticing in the work that I have done in between that there's a little technique you could do to really give some extra strength of excitement in the painting. I'll show you this one. In France, 2016, we were up at Passage de Lourdes, and we were on the precipice, and down in the valley, everything is a soft green here, and these mountains in the background are actually the foothills of the Alps, or they call them the pre-Alps. We were standing back about this far from the edge, trying very carefully not to fall in. It was very windy, and there was a little bit of undergrowth, sort of a green with siennas and whatnot, a little bit drab. So instead of leaving them in those drab colors, in order to give a bit more strength and excitement, as I call it, to the front of the painting, I just added a touch of Naples yellow in with the burnt sienna. Now all of a sudden, this has created the eye to stay on the painting. By doing that, you can see this is an angle like this, and you don't want people to just leave the painting. So this little bit of bright color here picks up here and carries you back up to the hill, and the eye actually spends more time examining the work. And if it does take enough time, it stops to say, well, what is this in the background? So that was something that I had learned on that trip. Going from that then, here's another painting with the pre-Alps in it, but I'm not focusing on the rock that I'm standing on. And by accenting again with this yellowy tone in the foreground, it creates more depth in the painting, and it gives a little bit more contrast. You can then start to feel the distance with the foreground of the valley and the little road down below, and the hills are not as detailed as they go further back. And then my last piece, this is in Ireland, and I just finished this using my other piece as a guide, but given a little bit more light in the clouds because we did have sun on one day, and stronger paint, pure pigment of the Naples yellow over top of the wet paint with the oil, so it actually blended on the canvas. And you can see how having a totally green background is now taken away, and the yellow in the foreground, or the Naples yellow in the foreground, or cadmium yellow with a little bit of burnt sienna to give it that richness in the foreground, gives a great contrast for the green hills in the background. I hope you can use this tip. Please subscribe and share with your friends if you like what we do, and we'll see you next time.